Gotcha.
Okay, I guess, well, it's here, we can take the attendance for the tree committee after the hearing.
Yeah, we would
We don't necessarily need we don't, well, anyways. All right, so I'll bring the tree removal hearing to order and get started with that. It is, just to reiterate what it is tree removal, that's in the path of the proposed bike path on the Clown Evers Road. And two particular areas are in question, and there's currently three areas in question along the path. So I'll let Drew Patnote from the DPW lead off with the proposed.
Sure, I'll just give a little history of the project. So Tom Nevers Bike Path has been in the transportation, long-range transportation plan for some number of years now. The project was funded at town meeting. We are working on finalizing design and permitting, and Mike Burns, the transportation program manager, presented alternative options for the alignment of the bike path with respect to these trees, utility poles, property impacts, all that type of stuff, to the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, and the select board or county commissioners. The recommendation or the preferred alternative was a bike path that maintained a grass buffer or a strip of grass between the bike path and the roadway, for safety reasons. That was unanimously recommended by BPAC, the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee, Select Board. Staff obviously also shares that sentiment or that preference. All of the improvements will remain in the public right of way. There are some private property impacts in this, in the form of temporary construction easements to allow for final grading between finished grade of the new bike path and existing grade at adjacent properties. And so because the permanent improvements would remain in the right of way, but maintain a separation from the road, in a couple locations, trees are going to need to be removed. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, but it's 98, 110.
Yep.
And what was the other address?
And 10.
10 Longwood?
10, that was a new.
10 Tom Nevers, it's a pine tree.
It's more than but now just so we know what we're talking about here. I drove past there yesterday, and because I didn't know about this until like Ben actually clued me in on it. There's tape around not only the pine, but there's also tape around some sassafras and some other things along there. Do you know anything about that?
Maybe survey tape.
Oh, I don't know if that's, I don't know who put that out. I don't know if that's the homeowner marking the trees that they were hoping to retain.
Yeah.
Or if Leo surveyor marked those for, I don't know, visibility.
Now, this particular homeowner is willing to grant an easement behind those, yeah?
I don't believe we've gotten a response on that. I know Mike Burns had reached out,
This is what Ben,
Yeah, here.
what did you hear from the owner of 10? What was?
Well, he should be on. I think that's separate from what we're looking at right now. But the owner at 10, I had a conversation with him, and he's said that he had talked with Mike Burns about exploring giving the town an easement onto their property so the trees could be retained. I don't know if that was, memorialized with any, with,
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
written agreement or anything, but I know that they would like to explore that.
Yeah, not that I know of. I think the last time Mike Burns spoke to that property owner, we had given them a deadline to make a decision on whether they'd be willing to grant a permanent easement on private property for the bike path in the interest of saving the trees.
Mhm.
To that end, at 98 and 110, it's really the same situation, right? The
Right.
bike path can either
Yeah.
go adjacent to the road. Even in that case, it would probably, because it's full depth construction, probably be impacting the roots of these trees. The other option is the bike path goes where it's proposed, which is a buffer between the road and the bike path. Or the bike path can go on the back side of the trees. That would require permanent improvements being on private property. The other option is that the homeowner move the trees from the public right of way, which they are encroaching on, onto their private property. Right.
Yeah, understood. And in this case, the one we're looking at right now, the one that's pictured, the property owner was given the option to grant an easement, and they declined that offer, correct?
Correct.
So, all right, I'm just trying to get the various property owners and their situation clear in my lens here.
Can I also ask a question?
Mhm.
I'm Janet Sherland. We live at 120 Tom Nevers Road. When you first started speaking, you mentioned that in the beginning, the bike, I'm not sure the letters of the organization, so the bike,
BPA.
yeah.
Yeah.
When they first came out, when I first got paperwork over a year ago about this, they were recommending the bike path to the curve of the road and then the bike lane from there to the field. And then that was taken away by when at the meeting in June, I think it was, I wasn't able to attend. I had pneumonia at the time. But the decision was then changed. That recommendation was overlooked and they switched to the bike path. To getting bike path and bike lane confused, and I don't want to misspeak. But that organization at first was supporting the bike lane from the curve to down to the field, not taking the bike path all the way down.
Okay,
Well,
so
Just to make
Yeah,
sure we're all aware of what's happened. what's
sure.
transpired.
So the design that has been approved and is being progressed towards bidding and construction is a bike path that is separate from the road.
anything else, Drew, as far as present, anything else you want?
No, I mean, there were some communications that kind of purported that the trees are on private property or that they're not in the public right of way, and we have survey.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
we're clearly on.
yeah,
Yeah.
that clearly delineates the right of way.
Okay, all right, okay, I'll now hear from any objections to the removal.
Yes, thank you. My name is Małgorzata Mruzek. I'm here on behalf of the Bermans at 98 Tom Nevers Road, who object to the removal of the cherry trees, both at their property, 98 Tom Nevers Road, as well as at 110 Tom Nevers Road, which are, I believe, are pear trees. These are healthy trees that are really the only town trees on this stretch of Tom Nevers Road. They provide both beautification for the area as well as ground stabilization on this stretch of the road, which is particularly important given towards the end at the park. It's very clear that erosion is happening on this stretch of the island. The tree advisory committee, so I've watched several meetings, and you always stress how important the preservation of trees on the island is for the benefit of the public of Nantucket. And the removal of these trees would not be in the interest of the public. These are healthy trees that are a benefit to the area, and they should stay where they are. There are alternate plans available, the bike lanes as Janet mentioned. And so there is a way to still have this bike path without removing these town trees in this area. And so we would request that you deny the approval for cutting down these trees.
All right, so we have your letter of objection, and,
You had another person here.
oh, yeah, yes,
As well, yes,
yes.
again, Janet Sherland at
Yeah.
120 Tom Nevers Road. And we live there year round, full time. And I think I'm very much against the cutting down of these beautiful trees for a number of reasons. And, one, I don't think it's necessary because I think a bike lane is really the right answer for this stretch of Tom Nevers Road. And, for two reasons, but first I want to speak to just the trees. It is very difficult to grow any kind of deciduous tree and certainly any flowering plants out in Tom Nevers. And we struggle on our property. The wind is brutal out there. These trees here, the ones on our neighbor's trees at 110, are so exquisite. They're so hard to grow anything shaped like that in Tom Nevers, as beautiful and flowering. It gives a sense of neighborhood and belonging and permanence there. When we're coming out of the winter, I look forward to seeing those trees bloom so much. They bring me such joy. There's very little color out there, and it's always a brutal winter out there. And we've been living full time on our property now for 7 years, and the few trees we put out, they're wind blown, they're blown over. To have these beautiful trees right on the street for everyone to see. And they make you feel like you're in a neighborhood, like you're not out there floating anywhere. They're beautiful. And given the lack of destination, the field is not a destination for tourists or others. There's a crumbling beach with no access. There's been terrible erosion. We've lost 40 feet in the last few years. We know Tom Nevers Field has lost more. There's cement, there's structures all over. There's signs, multiple signs, at least 3 on that property by the beach, by the playground, that say caution for unexploded ordnances. The buildings are, hold on, we live right there. We're looking at the street all day long. People don't bike there. Maybe at the height of the summer, there are a few people that zip down there. Usually they're bikers who are out for like getting their mileage in. So they zip down and they zip back. There are not families going down there, and there are not children driving down there. The Sunday afternoon softball games are all trucks and cars. That field, there's nothing to do there. It is a wasteland, and the town does not have money to fix it. They had at one point said we were going to deal with the erosion there. By the next year, they said, oh, whoops, there's been more erosion and now we can't afford it. So we're not trying to get people here. And for the few of us that live down there, we're very concerned about safety. I have children and grandchildren, but for the lack of activity there, a bike lane is very adequate. And you could do a bike lane and not disturb these trees and not disturb the sense of neighborhood that we're trying to cultivate there, because we've lived there. This is our home. And this means a lot to us. And I think it's actually a waste of town resources and money to build a, milestone road type bike path to nowhere. What are you trying to get people down there to do? There's nothing to do. They turn around and go back. But I'm telling you, I sit there every day. I don't work. I'm at home. There are not people in bikes zipping down there. Cars and trucks, maybe. But I'd say save your resources for places on the island where you need to develop stronger and safer bike paths. Put a bike lane there, retain the trees, and keep our sense of neighborhood and the joy that such beautiful trees add to a sense of home and one of the few spots of color that we are able to accommodate out in Tom Nevers.
Any other comments? Well, given the objections to this, by statute, it's no decision can be made at this. So this will be continued to the Board of Selectmen for their review. But the committee welcome to make some comments if anybody here, other people want to make, actually just, it's not really the committee making any comments, it's just before anybody. So Emily.
Yeah, thanks. I was just gonna ask if we know anything about the decision to move from the bike lane idea to the full-blown bike path on this stretch. If those were 2 different designs that were considered originally, if we're aware of the thinking behind moving to the full bike path.
So it was presented to the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee and then Select Board.
Okay.
Or might have technically been the county commissioners that reviewed and approved to the preferred alignment.
Okay, so they probably made that decision just based on the BPOC's recommendations and considerations.
Once the VPOC at first recommended the bike lane, and it was at the county commissioners meeting in June, when no more than couldn't call in, that they changed the decision and said, no, we think it's better to have a bike path the whole way up. But up until then, the plan that we had been notified of as homeowners there was bike path to the curb in the road and bike lane to the field. But so that got changed.
The preferred alignment that was voted on
But
and
now-
approved to move forward
Yes,
is a bike path.
exactly.
So I don't think
That's
it's
what-
really worth revisiting.
Yeah.
You know, prior discussions, but I would just also add, these trees are encroaching in a public way. So, you know,
A practice of people to
I think that's-
landscape up to their streets. I don't think anywhere people leave their buffer to say, okay, someday maybe the town wants his land being claimed.
Well, you know, there's a few things that, you know, just a comment, the trees are planted under wires. There's one really, you know, a no-no. As far as, you know, if you're gonna plant something, it shouldn't be under wires, because it's just. The Bradford pears that are there that have been planted are obviously been shaped to keep their growth down, but that doesn't mean what's gonna happen in the future. So I mean, that from just a comment about planting trees there, it's clearly, you know, the trees were planted without permission, essentially.
So I have a question. What stage, when these trees start to decline, where did we go from there? Cause they will decline
Yeah,
because of the root system with these, and then you got the calorie repair, which most states don't even allow to be planted anymore.
right.
So what happens when they start to decline?
I also would say, if you look at these trees, if you were to do a bike lane adjacent to the road, that you'd be impacting, especially on these cherries, you'd be impacting the root system, and also some of these trees will lose a full half of their face in order to prune them high enough that you could pass too wide safely with bikes. You know, street tree standard is anywhere from no branches below 6 or 8 feet. Could be higher along the bike path, because you take somebody, you know, who normally be 6 feet to walk under, now they're raised up on a bike in order to bike safely past these. Either someone would have to swerve into the road, or some of these trees are really gonna get shaved, you know, straight up from the trunk, essentially killing the tree. I mean, I think the best alternative, either way, whether, you know, move it or not, would be to, you know, for the homeowner to move these trees back to within the property line to retain the trees. It's certainly an option. But I think if a bike, you know, even if a bike lane, somehow that decision were to change, these trees would be so impacted that they would decline, and you're gonna lose them anyway.
Yeah, because there's there's no real room, as far as I can see, within the pavement of the road that would allow for too dangerous to have a bike lane in the current pavement of the road.
Correct, so you'd have to do it
It would-
adjacent.
And it's a good point, is and create the bike lane, you're doing the same thing as actually moving the bike lane anywhere else, because you are, in order to excavate that macadam, that, you know, to pave that area, you're gonna have to go almost really to the trees to do
But
it. So,
the bike lane, according to the material that we were sent, would be 5 feet.
But the construction for it takes a lot more space with the equipment and the excavation.
Big,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Whereas the
I
bike
mean,
path
just the
is 3
mechanical,
feet. That's a big difference.
just the mechanical injuries to the
Yeah.
tree, it's probably gonna doom them anyway, even if you did it, you're gonna lose the trees one way or the other. With either of those,
And it's for both properties. I think the best to preserve the trees, I think the best thing would be the homeowners to have, you know, I don't think they're probably too big to spade, but could be hand dug and relocated back, you know, onto the property line, which would preserve the look of the neighborhood with the color and this and that. I'm glad something, I always kind of laugh about cherry trees being planted on property out here, because there's hardly any property owners around them to see them. It's our little
Yeah.
gift to local Nantucketers to see them bloom.
There are those of us that are here.
Oh, I don't know, my parents live here year round, I
And
can
they're-
always, you know,
and-
these
And there are, you can move those trees with a tree spade. They're not so big that you can't do that. So, I mean, certainly the tree committee wants to preserve trees, but, also you have to think about, the public safety. And that's kind of an overriding. So I'm
Yeah,
just,
again-
it can be done, but I think but it would have to be, these trees were planted the easy way. They were planted in an already cleared area that didn't belong to them. And this is,
It seems like it-
they should have been planted on the property line, and I think that would work. That would work, and it would just take a little bit of clearing on the part of the current homeowners in those areas in question. To do that, but anyway. I can't talk for the town as far as if they'd assist in doing that, but to me, that's a solution to the problem.
I actually do ride my bike out there pretty frequently. It's a destination just because it's quieter.
Sure.
And it's too narrow to have a bike lane incorporated into the existing,
But if you did a
roadway.
bike lane, the 5 feet from the edge of the road into the, that's a lot better for us than 14 feet.
Well, but to everyone's point, I think that would probably still do significant enough damage to the trees that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I have a photo here that's more.
And don't forget that the branching of the trees is gonna be a
They
real
don't
problem.
branch.
They're low branch, that's, I think that,
So
for
the
me,
the canopy of these also, if you go out and you were to go to the furthest point of the canopy, which typically is the root zone of that tree, it's almost to the road edge. And that's where I think there's be so much impact here, even if you were to do a 5 foot, bike lane on the edge of the asphalt, you're gonna be destroying the root zone, just with the full depth excavation that has to happen in order to pave that. You're gonna be, you're gonna lose half the root zone of these trees, you're gonna lose half of the canopy. And at that point, you might as well just gonna watch the tree decline until it gets removed because it's a safety hazard.
so.
for me, the fact that the trees were planted on town property and the town has decided that a bike path is appropriate, and a bike path has been demanded by the public for a couple of decades,
Well,
the trees don't take precedence over that.
well, again, you have to be cognizant, and if you don't live out there, you aren't seeing the reality. I mean, I wish the town has statistics, but that area, there are very few bikers that are.
Well, the bike path is supposed to attract bikers as well to the town property and everything.
To the crumbling field with the unexploded ordinances and the unsafe beach.
The Island Fair is out there every
Everyone
year now,
drives.
yeah.
Everyone drives to that. People don't. come
We want them to use their bikes instead, and so a bike path has been demanded by the public for a couple of decades.
We're also in the
Demand-
process of improving the park. We just installed a new structure in the playground. We currently have out to bid. Project to clean up the debris on the beach. To clean that up and then going into capital, for next year, the following year. We did clean up the rest of the underground ordinance there. Like there are plans in place, things in progress to try to improve. What's going on out there and to make it more of a destination place, because it is somewhat of a wasted space for people unless the playground's there to go out and use it, which attracted a lot of people this summer. And then there's a new baseball league that's forming, so we're starting to use these fields.
Fields well used, but again, people drive out there and it's really the children and the people playing baseball that are using the playground there.
I mean, I don't know if this tree advisory committee meeting is really the place to.
Exactly,
Bothered.
sorry to go.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
discuss the merits, but.
This is all, it's not even, let's just make this, this is not a tree advisory committee meeting, it's a tree hearing. But
I mean,
and it's me, the tree ward.
Right.
That's running, and it's per statute, it's a step. And if there are any, and it's spelled out very, very clearly. That if there's any objections, then it's referred to, the appropriate town board. which is the selectman in this case, so. We have the letter made, we have your letter, I guess, I don't think we need anything else, right?
We haven't,
We have it.
I could just comment if I could. I think we're all here because we love trees. And, but you know, I think that the moving them in, I mean, it looks like there's plenty of room there. You know, it solves the encroachment problem, the issue with the wires. And, looks like this project's already moving forward anyway. But, you know, we solve a number of problems and we save the trees. By going in with them. I mean, it looks like there's all sorts of room there.
There is.
Yeah, I just say it would be a crime to cut those down. You know, this notice is
Well,
on
I
the
think
street,
there's-
say we're gonna cut them down.
Certainly, there's an alternate here. I mean, there's, you know, there's a way not to do that. And we certainly don't wanna see that, but we also wanna have a safe public safety. And because they were planted illegally, I think that's, you know. I think there's a solution to this, but the homeowners have to agree to plant the trees, you know, have the trees either, you know, transplanted. And it can be done with a big enough tree spade easily enough.
So it just logistically, this goes to the select board. Will there be notice of, and
Yeah.
is the tree advisory committee giving a recommendation to the select board?
We will, we will, yes. We would be, yeah.
And will do you come to that recommendation now? Like, will you be recommending that they be removed or?
I think
So this is the hearing, the committee would meet in its meeting
Yeah,
to make a
Yeah,
recommendation.
we'll meet to make a recommendation. But we have I've got a continued discussion of Tom Nevers bike path on the agenda today, so
Oh, so you'll still be discussing
Yeah.
after, okay?
Yeah. we will be.
And so then just what's the timeline? Whatever your decision is, will we get notice from you, or from the select?
It'll be part of the public record.
It would be in the packet for the select board meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, and is there like a timeline, which select board meeting, or do you just?
That's up
We
to
don't
them.
know. We don't
that'll be
know
up to
that yet.
that'll be up to whoever.
Yeah.
Town admin who sets their agenda. You know, if something's already booked out, so as soon as we know, I'm happy to have your email, I can
Yeah.
forward it to you,
That would be great.
the possible dates.
But anyway, that's, okay, so I think we're done. We'll close the meeting and, close the,
Motion, I guess, a motion to close the hearing then, I guess.
no, we don't really need to do that. No. Okay,
Thank you to do everything to preserve those trees, and let the owners have the appropriate time that they need to move them, whatever, because they make a huge difference in our neighborhoods, and I'd like to see them preserved.
well, winter's a good time. Winter is a great time to do all this. Okay, it's not quite three, but I guess we can.
We should wait.
Yeah, we'll
The
wait.
public.
Yeah. So. I hear Jordan's leaving?
Yes, John is leaving.
Yep. That's too bad.
We gotta put the saddle on again.
Yep. We're gonna have a little chat about that today,
Okay.
so.
Is there anything coming up about Pleasant Street?
Yeah, but on the agenda. Plug yet? Just three, okay,
Block.
all right, so,
Yeah.
bring the, October meeting of the Tree Advisory Committee to order, I'll take attendance, please. Mary,
Mary Longacre here.
Emily,
Emily Molden here.
Whit,
Whitbourne,
Ben,
And shampoo here.
all right. Do we have a quorum?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody.
we do, we've got everybody. Excellent. Any agenda, well, let's have a motion on acceptance of the agenda if everybody's had a look at it.
So moved.
Yeah.
All right,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All right, no minutes to,
Not yet.
no announcements, no public comment. I think we've already sort of had that already. I think. All right, no citizen or departmental request. So we'll move on to old business. 43 Union Street. Anybody got
Nothing that's
anything?
going on, I was in the neighborhood the other day, nothing that's going on at 41 Union as of right now.
I make a point every time I'm going into town to drive by there.
I do too.
Just to make sure. But it all's well so far, but that doesn't mean anything. Has anybody found any activity or,
I haven't heard or seen anything.
okay, all right, well, we gotta keep on that because this guy's relentless. All right, let's move into a discussion of what we just talked about at Tom Nevers. So. Transplanting, I think, is the way to go.
Yeah, if the owners want to save the trees, then they have the opportunity to transplant them.
And I think that's a tack we gotta take. I think it's, they're transplantable and. Does, what's his name, Tim Brown still have the tree spade here?
I think he does. Last I heard.
I saw it recently, actually.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. So there's, we.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 90-inch,
He's what?
that's a 90-inch.
Yeah, it's an optimal too.
Yeah.
Which it's got a curved blade on it.
Yep.
So it's really, instead of a shaft that goes like this, it goes sort of around the root system. And it makes that's what John Davy had, and it's really the way to go.
I think it was John Spade.
Is it John?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think you got a paint job, but I think.
Yeah, okay.
John's.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's a possibility there. It's under the wires, but I think he could sneak in there to do it, so.
Yeah, worst case, I mean, it's telecoms. He's usually the low one on the pole, so if they had to coordinate with, Comcast to, we move houses all the time, and move wires, it'd be very easy for them to get it up and out of the way.
Right.
So they can get in there.
Now, in the case of 10 Tom Nevers Road, none of that is transplantable, well, particularly the pine tree, because of the pine trees. The
Yeah.
pine, the pitch pine is like, it's a good size. Do we have a picture of it or anything?
And if they're talking about the sassafras, they just carve trees anyway.
Yeah, well, sassafras have their own problems, but they're all, who tagged those, Dale? Do you know?
I don't know, I don't know who tagged them. My son
Yeah.
tagged on the pine trees and that's all we. Within the,
Yeah, I thought it was,
I believe some of the stuff, if they're right along the road, from previous conversations, some of the stuff were things that were going to stay because the bike path is actually going to be behind it.
yeah, certainly we'd like to see that, and it sounds like the homeowner is willing to give up some land to do that.
Do we have
Hopefully
a, do we have a plan that shows the existing tree, stand at the beginning of the road? And how the bike path cuts through there?
Or how the bike path is gonna connect from Milestone to,
Yeah, I could try to dig that up. But I wouldn't be able to share it anyway. They've been bit, so. Just continue, I'll pull it up.
And have we ever got a response from any of the homeowners regarding moving the trees back? Do we know what their objection would be, or?
I just don't wanna do it,
Too.
Say what?
as far as I know, as far as I can see, they wanna leave them where,
Yeah, no,
so.
I'm sure it's a financial burden, but.
You can
At least
talk,
they've got
you can
the
talk,
option.
you know, May, you know, you can certainly chime in, May, on the,
Oh, just, if we've heard any objections to moving the trees back, from any of the homeowners.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If they would understand that.
Yeah.
That'd be one of our recommendations.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is that the town would move the trees back or?
No, the homeowner.
Homeowners.
I think I don't have like a firm
Yeah,
answer on that.
I mean, it would, you know, I think it would,
It would be on the homeowner at the homeowner's expense to.
yeah, I
remove
mean,
trees.
they were, you know, they were clearly planted on town-owned property without permission, so, I mean, it would be incumbent on the homeowner to do that.
So I would just note they were planted over, almost 20 years ago, and that predates the Berman's ownership
Right,
of
Right.
this property.
right, that still doesn't matter.
They inherit the liability.
Yeah, yeah,
For walk away the Zoom.
so,
But the town has and just reaffirmed an encroachment policy that, you know, things that which are encroaching on town property can be removed.
all right, so let's, let's just talk about exactly what our stand is on this whole thing, just so we want to see the trees transplanted onto private property.
If at all possible.
A bike lane is gonna do so much damage to the trees that it's going to doom them probably anyway. You know, they might live for a few years, but you know, it's gonna severely damage their root system. Definitely damage their root system.
And their canopy as well.
And the canopy as well, just to affect that. Be better if they're. So, I mean, I think that's our look at this.
Do we need to say that we support the bike path as proposed as the
And
preferred?
that's a good
Yeah.
point, yes. So I think everybody's in favor of the bike path.
That's clearly.
Everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, in favor of the bike path, and I think that it's just, it is important, for us to, voice the opinion that, or at least speak to it, that if a homeowner chooses to, plant trees on town property, they don't then become town trees. They just happen to be trees that were planted without authorization on town land. And that's unfortunately what the situation is here. And they're beautiful and they're nice and they could live there for many years. If a bike path, if the town hadn't slated that land for the bike path and that, public safety and all the considerations that the town has had in place should stand first.
Can we clarify what Ben just said about what's a town tree? That I thought if it was on town property, it is a town tree, and that's what gives us the jurisdiction to have the hearing.
Correct.
Yeah, so it is a town tree. It's.
Well, it's on town, well.
It's not, those trees were never designated.
It was never planted.
It was
by
not
the-
planted,
Right.
yeah,
But
it was not
but it
planted
is-
by the
it is
town.
Town-owned,
Yeah.
it's on town-owned property, so it
But that would
becomes,
be no different than somebody planting one in the sidewalk.
Right,
if we're going down that road.
right,
So we gotta be very careful of what path we walk when we send, because it's on the outside of town or the town sidewalk. If it's in town land, it's a town tree.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, we don't want to say anything different than that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so
But as town trees, the town still has the authorization to take them down for another town purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
okay, fair enough.
Street, you know,
Um,
street white, I mean, this is essentially street widening. And essentially,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's unfortunate, but again, the town didn't put them there.
And the homeowners, just to reiterate, the homeowners aren't willing to grant an easement to put the path behind the trees.
right, as far as I know.
I understand, yeah.
All right, so,
Here's the connection.
This
yeah,
is at the
Okay.
big
yeah, I
milestone.
didn't realize that was, that's cool. I didn't realize that. Now that only goes, where is, that doesn't go quite to Kendrick, or not Kendrick, but, Long,
This is just the beginning sheet.
that's just the
So
beginning.
this is just from
Okay.
Milestone
Where it
Road,
connects to Milestone,
Right, right,
the curve through to keep
Yeah.
it separate from the intersection.
right,
and then it parallels Tom Nevers.
right, all of
The full distance, yeah. So, I mean, Charlie, if you go to the next sheets, it would show Longwood, Lions.
That's what I was saying,
Yeah,
that,
the full distance.
Okay.
because those, the trees in question are, the pine and the sassafras are just before you get to Longwood.
And is there a bus station down at the intersection of Milestone?
It's across the street from where this bike path will connect to the bike path on
So
Milestone.
all these homeowners potentially, I'm a big bike fan, could ride their bikes.
And a lot
walk
of
them
people
up,
do.
Hit the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet more will.
Oh, yeah.
And I would add again, we don't really need to get too much into the merits of whether the bike path is necessary, but Tom Nevers is not necessarily the destination. New South Road continues down, there's
Yeah.
great beaches and fishing. A lot of people live in this area and would like a safe way to get back to Milestone. You know, the bike path works in both directions.
And it's not just, it's just not bikes, it's not just bikes, it's people jogging,
Yeah, there's-
people
and
walking.
There may not be a lot of people, you know, biking down that road, but I'm out there every morning.
Well, part of the
There are
reason is
people-
because there's not a safe facility
Yeah.
to
Right,
accommodate
exactly.
biking and walking. I used to live on Flintlock. I could spit out my back door and I'd hit Tom Nevers Road. I never walked, I never biked, because I didn't wanna risk it, you know, and again,
I mean, it's a straightaway, people go really fast on that road.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
But back to trees.
yes.
Yeah.
it's it really is a public safety issue.
Yeah, and again, it is unfortunate, but we've offered alternatives, you know, moving the trees or moving the bike path onto private property and. Unfortunately, neither of those were seemingly accepted, so the bike path is gonna go through the trees as far as I'm concerned.
It looks like the homeowners have plenty of room there. I mean,
There is, yeah.
It's their choice, yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a question about the 10 Tom Nevers Road that we're trying to solve here?
So there's somebody, public comment, coming, from the homeowner on 10 Tom Nevers. So if and when we can let him speak to this, I think that would be, clarify some things.
Thanks, Ben. Sorry, I'm not in a great location.
Muted.
Greg, would you unmute and introduce yourself?
You got on mute.
Yes, hi, sorry, I'm not in a great location. I'm traveling today, but I think you can hear me now, right?
You can.
Okay.
You
Yes,
have your full name, please.
I'm sorry, my full name is Gregory O'Shea, and I'm one of the owners of 10 Tom Nevers Road. The property's owned by my family, my parents, and my brother Andrew O'Shea. My brother Andrew has a business on Nantucket, O'Shea Electric, and also lives on the property. So what our comment is that we, I don't have the plan in front of me, but we've always been kind of the trees that we would like to be saved, as well as some of our neighbors in Tom Nevers East, as well as I believe Tom Nevers West, The trees were there prior to us purchasing the property. We purchased the property in 2018, but I believe they were there even when the home was built in 1997. And they're very much like a part of the beginning canopy and entrance into the Tom Nevers area. They sit quite a bit higher than many of the other trees in the area. We also thought they were close to or on our property line. I don't have the exact plan in front of me, but I think there might be a little bit different than the trees further down the road that are planted completely on the town property versus on the line or close to the line. And so what we would like to be considered is that the path, I guess, would go in, so sort of like deviate inwards a little bit to keep the trees, to also keep kind of like the natural look to the Tom Nevers Road, as opposed to just having the bike path being like right next to or very close to the road. So it has a bit more of an organic feel. And I also wanted to point out that many of our neighbors have came to us and they said to us that their understanding, since the trees had been preliminarily marked, I don't think they were labeled to be removed like some of the other trees, but they thought that that meant that those trees were going to be saved. So there's a bit of confusion about the trees in general in our neighborhood. And so that's the comment that we wanted to make.
Now, are you willing to grant the town an easement to reroute the bike path in such a way that'll save those trees?
Yes, we're definitely open to considering that. We just want some more details about the amount of land that would entail.
Okay, but it's,
Yeah, then I think, I don't know if you, Greg, but I know Mike Burns has been in touch with somebody with those types of options. So well, we can follow up on that if you guys want to review anything.
Yeah, so we had been in touch with Mike, but what we asked for is like, and the trees were marked on the plan, but what we asked for was more specifics about such as the exact amount of land that would need to be, I guess, given to the town. So if we could just get some more concrete information, we can quickly review it and make a decision and come back to you guys, because I know you're on a tight project schedule.
Yeah, okay. We can certainly follow up with you. Get some more information for you to review if need be.
That would be great. And yes, Mike had been working with myself as well as my brother. He's actually worked with our whole family, so he has all of our contact info.
Okay, excellent. I'll make sure he gets in touch with you.
okay, good. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you for including me. I appreciate it.
All right.
For sure, Greg.
Anything else that you need from our side at this point?
I think we're good. I think that's, we're familiar with it, we have everything there and you know, it's, hopefully we can work out something that's gonna work for everybody.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
Okay,
Thanks, Greg.
bye-bye.
All right. So I guess I think we're good. I think,
Charlie,
You have
you're
what
gonna
you need
draft a
for-
letter,
What's that?
or you're gonna draft a letter for us,
For,
for,
A recommendation or?
yeah,
Yeah,
to select
yeah.
board, yeah, well,
yeah. Yeah, good. All right, let's move on to Sugar Maples at 7 Pleasant Street. Dale?
Two Sugar Maples at Pleasant Street, one is in severe decline. I'm willing to lose that tree and not do a replant because it is planted directly under Wiser. But the one that is still standing can be pruned and saved for a few more years. And that's what I recommend. I don't recommend we take it out just because the homeowners don't want it in front of
Right,
the house.
right.
so I thought there was a construction issue, but it's just that the homeowner is complaining about the tree.
I don't know that he's,
She don't like the two trees in the front of the house because one in severe decline and the other one they have a little bit of decline, but not enough decline to make it a hazard tree to come down.
now, if we take that tree down, Are we gonna plant another tree in its
I would
place?
rather plant a tree somewhere else because I don't wanna plant trees, we're talking about under wires, it's directly
That's
under
true,
wires.
that's
So I'd rather, if I take a tree down that is under wires, I'd rather find another place
right,
to plant, to replace that tree
Sure.
in another place.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that because of the wires.
okay.
Where is this on, where's number seven?
Seven, it's, you know where the gallery used to be, it's that was 3, so just keep on going, just a couple of houses
The
up.
Barker Gallery.
The
down by
Barker
Main
Gallery
Street?
and then,
Okay.
And that's the
Right before
saddest skip I know of on that topic,
yeah.
or the one in the front of the church on
Is that the old Welsh house?
Fair Street.
Yeah. Yeah,
Welsh,
either
I'm sorry.
Acres or Welch.
Yeah, I knew it.
Acres.
Acres.
John Akers.
Yeah.
Right, acres.
And they both have.
They're both
Yeah.
small, undersized. They were planted. Like
Marty did
by
that,
Marty at her request
right,
years ago, but just not a good tree, not a great location. Yeah, they're very small,
Yeah.
tight, plant anything after the sidewalk.
And there was
Is
a
in.
big plan to put the wires underground in that section
That's
there.
never gonna happen with, you might as well let
Yeah.
the dog sleep.
That never happened. I remember that.
still coming out of your electric bill, Wolf.
That's right.
That's
So
what
I am okay to removing one of them that is in severe decline.
Yeah.
But I would rather keep the other tree,
Yeah.
because I don't wanna set that.
No, it's, I think it's a bad precedent.
Yeah, I don't wanna do that, so I'd rather keep, she wanted down, she sent pictures about the 1800 when there was no trees there. But on the sidewalk, we made a decision to put them in the sidewalk. And more than just put them, the town had to sign off on it.
Yep.
For him to put them in town sidewalks.
Yeah.
That's why they're there.
Would you like to donate a little something to the tree fund?
I'd still rather not go down that road either.
Yeah, no, that we don't wanna do.
I'd rather not go down that road. I wanna keep it just straight across the board. One, I'm willing to deal with because it's in severe decline.
Yeah.
The other one I can prune up and keep it healthy a little bit longer.
That was my
So I
other
don't want
question.
somebody to give me something to take a tree down. That just open up a can of worms.
Yeah.
Then that guy down on Main Street, decide he don't want to own the tree again. Thanks, so we
Right.
want to keep that gate closed.
Okay, so everybody's in agreement on that? Yes? Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
So the agreement is that Dale is going to remove one and maintain the other.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that because of decline, not because of preference by the
Yeah,
homeowner.
it's not, if you look at it, I believe the tree that's gonna come out will be the one on the left, correct?
Yes, the one on facing out, the one on the left.
It's, you'll see it there, it's like one little stick.
Yeah.
I brought it 3 years ago and it just continues to decline.
And this won't encourage her to want to remove the
It
second.
doesn't matter, it doesn't matter whether it's going to encourage it or not, it's just, I'm telling you now that one, it's in severe decline, it's worthy of coming out. One is worthy of staying, and I wanna keep the one that is
I
worthy of
agree,
staying.
sounds good.
Being removed due to decline, not due to
Yeah.
request.
Just as if I had pointed out a tree that was in decline somewhere, yeah.
Okay, and then going along in that, part of the elms at West Creek.
Looking beautiful.
They're right across the street out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you know where you are?
They're still there. That's good.
Is that lot still owned by the Rainamos?
Yes,
Okay.
There was some discussion that was,
The guy that was running Shangri-La was interested in that property.
right,
And I told him, I said, listen, there's 2 town trees on that property, I don't know if he was told that. But there's 2 town trees on that property, and I think.
and what did he say?
He was like, I wasn't told that was town trees on the property.
Okay, that's interesting.
So,
yeah, we'll monitor.
Yeah, so now there was never any. Karsten never got back to, or his son never got back to anybody about withdrawing.
I was sent a certified letter,
Okay, no comment.
no comment, that, they never paid the trees removed, the trees have obviously not been removed, just a refresher, but then we wrote a letter. That we sent certified mail.
but I think what happened, I think they had moved on because they had put a for sale sign on the property.
Yeah.
That was a for sale sign on the property, so I think they negated trying to do that, and he's gonna try to move to something different.
Yeah, that was our point, was,
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
purpose of the letter, is to say, if you're going to sell this,
yeah,
you know,
Good to see you.
either, if you're not gonna pay the money, you know, rescind the permission that you were given to remove these trees and
Yes.
make it understood that if you sell this property, that permission
That
is not
doesn't, that doesn't
passed
apply, yes.
to
that
the
doesn't
next
apply.
person.
Well, if we're gonna do that, we don't need to open that can of worms again, we need to keep that gate closed.
but ultimately, we want those trees to be there.
Mhm.
For sure. Even if they're, one of them's one sided, it still looks, actually, it still looks like a very nice tree.
Yeah.
Depending on what angle you come at.
And they're growing wonderfully.
They are
Yeah.
incredible, and it just, I just love this whole area.
Well, I'm gonna get the wires capped this winter and I'm gonna prune them up. Because I don't need electric company doing it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get them to cap the wires for them, then we'll get in that thing.
Good.
And while we're in the neighborhood, I remember years ago talking about them wanting to do something at the Chicken Box parking lot.
That's not gonna happen, not in a bar spot, it's just never gonna happen. With all the traffic in and all the drinking, it's just we asking for a disaster to happen.
And the soil's terrible there.
Yeah.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
but it is a bit of an eyesore. The local eyesore, but
So it's our eyesore.
But it's the chicken box.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
oh, yeah, it's all good, right?
Okay, that's good. That's, no news is good news. Or whatever. Atlantic Avenue Elms. Any,
Anything?
Anything?
Seen anything?
We
Dale?
sent the letter.
Yeah.
We sent a letter,
Yeah.
we sent a letter, right, to the town. Okay, so. And did they get back to us?
No.
No, of course not. Okay, well, we'll just. I'll keep that, I'm gonna keep that on the agenda, just so we,
Yeah, keep it on, just like 43 Union will be one of those,
Yeah.
a reminder,
Yeah.
everyone sees it,
Check in.
Yep.
do a drive by, make sure they're all of a
something
sudden
we
there isn't
gotta
a
keep thinking about.
foundation hole being dug.
Very important. Uh. We'll skip over, we'll do this, we'll do the replacements and we'll do that after this, but town-owned tree at 25 Hussey Street. Anything from Joe Paul or anybody?
No,
Now, I went up there. I think it was the day before yesterday.
the ash in front,
Not the ash in front, it's the elm.
In the
It's a
back.
Town
in the
elm.
back, no, we haven't heard anything else about that.
Now. They're re-shingling the house, but they're also, have you been up there, Emily?
I haven't seen it in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, they've got they've got all the shingles removed from the garage too, so it sort of looks like they're just gonna rehab the garage.
I was taking a good look at it, and there's the tree, there's a retaining wall
Right,
behind the tree in the garage, I think even if, it's quite possible the roots are way down and under, but I don't think it would be such a drastic, it's not like it's, well, on level ground where the, trunk,
Yeah, but where-
it was right where the dead is.
the question is where do my guess is the roots are everywhere.
Oh, a tree that old,
I worry about overdig more than
Yeah.
just.
well, they can't really over dig behind because of the retaining wall, so at some point, the roots were compromised, like, were disturbed when that retaining wall went in. Whenever that, I have no idea when that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Predates my time on Nantucket. So I don't think even, they can't over dig in the back at all because the retaining wall's there and it will compromise the wall. I even debate how much they could even dig in front of it without compromising its structure.
Right,
Uh,
but they're looking to build on, I think they're looking to build on the footprint of this thing, because it's clearly a non-conforming setback. Right, I think it is.
So didn't they come to last month's
They
meeting? and
did,
show
but I
it?
never
Yeah.
heard anything more from Joe about it, though, so. I'm hoping they just.
Make
a
keep
The
on
good,
things.
the good thing is,
If a new roof goes on it.
yeah, if they're
I think
shingling and
we'll be
roofing,
safe.
they're probably
I
not.
think
the
we'll
good,
be
the good
safe.
thing is the contractor seemed to be willing to work with us.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
whatever we need to do, or whatever he needs to do to make
Right.
sure there's no
Okay.
damage.
All right, but we get it
From
again.
speaking with him, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. All right, tree planting replacements. Thumb
That's
grinding.
on the fall, that's on my fall planting list.
Okay,
I have some locations for you next week.
Okay, good. And stump grinding?
That's, I'm waiting on them to get the contract or buy me a stump grinder.
Still waiting on the contract on.
I'll have to follow up with Mo. When the Mo handles, it's
Now,
part of the on-call three permit.
Is Yard Guard gonna be doing it
We
or?
don't,
We don't know
we
yet.
have to bid.
Yeah, it's in the queue
Okay,
to rebid.
all right, but that's definitely gonna be this.
Yes,
This
yeah.
week.
yes.
When's it going out to bid?
It's in the line somewhere.
Okay, good.
Some things that help, like, the Tom Nevers project, the beach project.
What we need to talk about is that dead ash on, between the bank and the church there. What is it?
Liberty.
Liberty. Need to talk about that dead ash. Emerald Ash Board Festival.
Right, you took that down, right? Oh, you haven't taken it down yet?
Oh, well, we can't
take it down because it's too dead to climb it. We can't climb it. Can't use the bucket truck.
Right.
Because of the
wires. I'm gonna make a difference. I think if I can get them to shut that area down for a couple hours,
Yep,
I can get in there and get that done.
yeah,
I'm not gonna say I can't do it.
right.
So where's this
It's
exactly?
gonna be tough.
It's just up, it's just behind the Methodist church.
Okay.
It's
gonna be tough.
On the street.
I think it's in front of Stover's house, possibly.
Yes, it's down from Stover.
It's down from Stover's house.
It's just very, can you even set the bucket truck in there or is it too narrow?
I've done it.
Yeah, so,
Done. I'm just gonna have to work between the wires.
right,
To get to that backside. The top side is easy, just get between the wires, to get to that backside. But it's doable.
that's a tight spot.
Yeah.
That's, oh, you should be able to see it.
There's not much back there.
Yeah,
That one right there.
yeah, I think that,
So it's literally behind the church, not.
is it behind, is the one behind the church? I thought it was,
Yeah, not on the street.
That big ash.
yeah, I always thought it was right there on the street for some reason.
Well, it's basically in the sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not seeing any, yeah.
Go up I think it's right there, that one right there.
And behind the
That's
fence?
it, behind the fence. It's behind the fence.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
so
that's
I'm
the-
searching on Google
Yeah.
Maps, everybody trying to get a view of
That's,
it.
that's the one.
That's the one.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that's the one. It's big. It's a real big tree. So maybe not, you'd have to take a ride up there. It's obvious. It's a good sized tree.
Oh, it's a nice, it's a nice ash.
And so what's the question about it? Sorry.
Well, it's for,
It's just dead.
it's the only one that's, that has
Infested.
emerald
Okay.
ash borer in it that we know of, right? I mean.
I haven't seen any sign and I'm watching all the ash trees. I'm monitoring. You remember years ago, we put up the Emerald Ash Board
Yeah, we
trap?
did, ensconce it.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I think it probably, my guess is it came here it came in firewood and.
It doesn't fly very far, so,
Right,
Mhm.
yeah, there's no, it's an isolated case, although there is that big one in front of 25 Hussey Street.
Yeah.
That's. Not too far away.
yeah,
There's not a lot of other ashes in town that I can
no,
think of.
no,
There's some in the A&P parking lot.
small ones.
They're mostly confined to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They're all over the place in Wisconsin.
What's that big one right at the Rotary in Wisconsin doing? That big one.
Oh,
But,
by the
Irritate-
tennis court,
yeah,
by the tennis court, isn't that right?
yeah. And there's some on the other side too,
That big one, we took that big
right,
limb
right,
out of
yeah.
it.
That was good to make that safe. All right, well, we'll hope for the best,
Yeah,
yeah.
Any tree damage from the storm, Gail?
no, we got a pretty good tree there.
Very little.
Just like there one tree came down on Milestone.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was dead,
I
yeah.
just swerved.
When
before that.
Oh,
I think anything that's close to the road and that's dead, conservation need to do a little bit more proactive about getting it, at least getting it top, so it's not too top heavy.
yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
You know what I mean? So we gotta cut up and got it fell back in there. This photo yesterday.
Excellent.
Okay, let's move on to new business. we'll talk about Jordan after these two items. Main Street Nantucket project, who knows anything about that? Anybody? I got something in my head.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Either.
Main Street Nan. And did you get anything in,
No, I don't, that doesn't sound familiar.
I thought it was sort of like a preservation, okay, I don't really, I
don't
didn't
know.
really.
It could be. At some point, I'm gonna talk to Holly. Backus, the preservation group wanted to talk to us about the trees further up Main Street near Pleasant Street and the sidewalk, and they wanna.
That's it.
bounce- come and
This
talk
is
with
it.
us At some
Right.
point,
Yeah,
but she hasn't reached out to me for.
okay,
To
so
request
we'll wait. to
Yeah,
hear
at some point we'll
their-
get it on
their
an agenda.
Proposals on it, certainly. we'd be
How to
glad to-
best deal with those sidewalks and.
Speaking of those sidewalks, does anybody sell a thin sort of brick that's halved? We have a lot of situations on the brick sidewalks up, mostly up on Main Street, where root has pushed up one brick. And it's just a major hazard, but I think, just a thinner brick,
Yeah, they make them, and plus you can actually cut it with a saw,
right?
you
I
know.
think that's part of what this all is.
Mhm.
There's often different varying opinions of what the town would like to do with sidewalks versus what we'd like to see done with trees versus what historic preservation will allow us to do. I know often, like there was one point they were asking, they want this wet set or setting concrete. A few of the brick roads in town because the roads are so narrow that they're constantly used by people hopping up on the curb. And so to not have to continuously rebuild or let those destroyed, they want to put concrete underneath them, but that's not historic.
Mhm.
So it got denied. So now
And it's not a
every
good
couple of
thing.
years, they have to get pulled up and rebuilt.
And it's not good for the trees
Yeah.
anymore, either, so.
Mhm.
And it's
certainly
too
don't wanna
bad
see that.
Granite curbing on, was it Liberty, North Liberty and Gardner Street? I guess we didn't pony up to do the beveled edge on the granite curbing.
I don't know that anybody does.
Yeah, I think somebody was telling me it was 10 cents a linear foot. And,
Sound right.
I don't know how many.
That's a little
That
cheap.
doesn't sound right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody does anything for 10 cents.
unless it's $10, who knows, but anyway.
What century are you in?
Yeah.
With? You know, you look,
That might have been the historic value. when it
Yeah.
was there.
Anyway, yeah, that's a tough road there,
Well, the new layer of asphalt makes it a lot better than it has been all summer.
Yeah, no, these guys do a great job, don't get me wrong, it's just, would have been nice to do that and just reduce the damage to rims and tires and
That very
whatnot.
well could have been a historic thing as well, that originally they were square cut,
No,
And just-
no, it's the
yeah.
opposite, no,
Yeah.
originally they were not square cut,
were beveled.
well, rounded.
Well, I guess we'll wear them down.
that's, yeah, it'll happen.
I think the roads are even worse than the curves, the roads themselves.
All right, then the other item is the 250th anniversary Liberty Tree Project, I got it.
Yeah, so I sent an
Okay,
email.
you sent
that
that.
I probably got the email from somebody. Yeah, I don't know why. So there's a group called the Liberty Tree Society, nonprofit established in 1965. And they are offering elm trees for the 250th anniversary of the country. And so they have this program. And it's not clear to me exactly what they're offering. But the idea of planting a commemorative tree for the 250th anniversary of the country, especially an elm tree, state tree of Massachusetts, and so important here, seemed like a really good one.
Sure,
So-
Does
Mhm.
So
I'm
we
all
should
for
make,
that.
hopefully make plans to have
Yeah.
some kind of a ceremony and tree
Yeah.
planting, around July 4th next year.
Yeah.
So
Sound good?
how do we get that
Now,
going?
Liberty, is that the Liberty Elm Project? I mean, is that the Liberty Elms deal, you think? I mean, is this group is involved with?
It doesn't. do
Have they,
as well as-
have they improved that particular tree at all?
Not
If they're giving out samples of, if it's an unimproved Liberty elm, I don't think we want it.
What I wish they had improved was the Valley Forge. That's the one I really wish they had
Yeah.
improved. I mean, if that thing could have held up, it would have been like the original American elm.
Right, yeah.
That was just.
Well, I think,
Do we
I
have?
mean, just looking out the window, those Princetons have really come to form. I like, we had our moments when those were in the early stages
The early
of growth,
stages of
and,
them,
I know you were not too happy with the branching
Yeah,
characteristics.
but I mean, I've worked hard at them to try to take weight off of them, so.
Yeah,
Things seem to be holding them, and I think a couple of them just gonna have to eventually brace rod them.
yep.
And.
Yeah.
Yeah. and-
Well, we wanna save them at all, as much as we can, so.
So what do we have to do to get that effort formalized and supported and paid for and scheduled? And
Okay, send me the,
there's literally no details, it's just a concept.
Yeah.
So I can follow up with the contact and find out if
Yeah.
there's more information.
Sure,
Yeah,
behind.
get
Okay,
some more
I'll do that.
information, and
Yeah.
I think we'd be on board, I
Yeah.
mean, depending on what they're offering.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about Jordan. Very distressing to hear that he's.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, I mean, I'm close to the end of my career, I mean, I'm going in 35 years, I mean, the end of this month will be 35 years complete.
Yep.
So I was heading toward the end of my career, and he would have made a great fit
Yep.
for what I've established.
Because he has experience
Yeah, well, I
already,
know.
so that's like, oh,
Yeah.
plus.
And, we gotta find somebody, cause I mean, well, that day on the job or retire, I'm leaving sometime.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
I'm not staying for
Okay.
either.
honeybee is my new gig, so that's my.
Make some good honey.
I got some, I gotta get some.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think we need to kind of get some fillers out there.
I mean,
The problem is,
So, if you can stick around,
It's how do you, particularly for a skill set that's.
and the thing is, I mean, when I walk away, I'm taking every ounce of knowledge with me. I mean, and not banging my chest, I mean, I literally got every ounce of knowledge about town trees.
Yep.
That is wrong, I mean, you got a list of trees, but what's the history behind it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all that is going with me, and I
Yeah.
want somebody that I can pass that down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I want somebody, if we wanna talk about the European law, when did they come here? How long were they here? Why did they get cut down so fast? The history of that kind of stuff that I'm taking with me that nobody knows,
Sure.
so.
I know most of it.
They're oral history
I was just thinking that, Mary.
Yeah,
So,
well, there's some food for thought.
what is that, I didn't even hear it.
Oral history project where somebody sits and interviews you and you just
Yeah.
talk and talk and talk.
Talk about Mrs. Apley.
I'm not,
Gail, I know you don't have a couple times.
I am not a good interviewer, I can tell you right now.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, okay, okay.
I can chat, but I'm not a good
Okay.
interviewer. But no, I really want somebody to come and take this job on, they can just fall in. But it's definitely a love thing, it's not just a job.
Yeah.
I don't want this to ever become a job for anybody, it's definitely have to be a thing that they love doing what they do, and they love talking about town trees. And they love setting up, when somebody come here, they can say, wow, I learned so much about that type of trees. When I go back, I can start this program at home and move on, so,
I think we'll have to have conversations with town admin and
yeah.
the unions on how to properly, we kind of lucked out with Jordan. Like,
Yep.
he came on.
Yep.
At an M2, just entry level position with the town, and just happened to have the skill set he did. I don't think lightning is gonna strike twice like that, so we'll have to come up with a job description and
Try to
and
recruit.
kind of get it
someone.
out there that we're actively searching, not just for a laborer, but somebody to come in to be the town, a town arborist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people, it's-
yeah, maybe it's creating a new position essentially.
But I all summer long, I'm talking about trees, people asking me about the history of this, of that, of that, and that. I mean, right now, if I was going, Jordan couldn't give that, and I was giving them that information. You know what I mean? I mean, and I don't wanna take it with me, I wanna leave it behind for somebody
Sure.
to help.
Yep.
You know? Roger Geiger gave it to me.
Yep.
You know, and so I wanna pass it on.
sure, absolutely. Roger was a repository of knowledge in
Yes.
his own right,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know, he was in the top 10 elm expert in the country.
Yeah.
And I started with.
Yeah.
And that's why I got a lot of my tree history. And I still talk tree history with him now at 78 years old, 77.
Yeah.
So you keep
My
in
age.
touch?
Yes,
Yeah, good for you.
yes. We
That's
still
great.
talk a couple times a week,
Yep.
Nice.
you know,
We gotta get your knowledge too.
Yeah.
you know.
Next.
I mean,
WPI.
just the history of the Dunn Redwood up by from Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that one, you know, that we had to move up front that they wanted to cut down.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
her name.
And we still got steel plates under
yeah, oh, I know,
it.
we put them there,
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, just that history alone is,
I know.
is
Yeah.
knowledgeable,
yep,
you know? And I remember the cost to move that tree even back then.
yeah, it was, I remember
It
how
was
much.
$25,000 for them to move that tree where it is right now.
That's
That
close to
Toscana?
20 years ago.
Yes, well over 20 years.
You know, that tree was only planted in the year, it wasn't planted until like 1955.
Okay,
Hugh McVicker, worked at the Mad Hatter at the time, or he was somehow connected with the Mad Hatter.
Sherburne later.
Yeah, and, I mean, the tree was only discovered in a remote mountain area in the Amur Valley in China.
Mhm.
Right after the Second World War.
yes,
So, from that time to about 1955 or 56, whenever that was planted, you know, these, cuttings of this tree were actually brought to this country and planted everywhere. I mean, there's one at Smith College, it's even bigger than this. one.
Yeah.
This is a small one in comparison to some of the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
ones
yeah.
I've seen around. But, anyway, that's,
and we got Black Forest pine trees right over here from the Black Forest. That Abbott Olson uncle brought to that,
yep, yep.
you know?
And then we got the-
Many of them percent of people don't realize we have Black Forest pine trees on that top.
Right.
And then we also have what they call the Hitler oaks. It possibly, although it doesn't look like, there's one on the Pulpus Road. Trying to think exactly where it is, but, still there, it's, but in the 36 Olympics, they gave away whatever the oak was that was native to Germany as in little pots.
Yeah.
If you were a gold medal winner.
Really?
And these things have circulated all over the world.
Jesse
And
Owens.
one supposedly ended up, I've got no proof that it did, but, I can't remember the exact, the address at all, but it's on the left-hand side if you're going out. It's not too far from where, the Pulpus Cemetery is.
So I definitely like to get some fellows out there that kind of
Yeah, so there's some interesting stuff here. Yeah,
passing on some information.
for sure. Well, I think this is,
Yeah.
I like that. And if we can get somebody.
Yeah.
You never know here whether, somebody shows up that has that and is married to somebody that's moving here for something else and,
Sure.
From the mulberries and the silk trade years ago too. All sorts of stories.
Climax on. No,
There it is.
Maybe he thinks we're talking about Tom Nevers.
Hey, folks, I joined late, so you probably already talked about Tom Nevers.
we did. Now we're just shooting the breeze about trees in general.
Oh, well, I'll hang on for that. I like that.
Trouble is, I think we're almost done.
Yeah.
But, but anyway. We were just talking about, Cormac, have you ever heard of the Hitler oaks that was planted out here? It's a story.
No, but Kelly might know through all the work that she's done.
Yeah, I'll
on
have to
this.
ask Kelly the next time I
Yeah.
see her. Yeah. Anyway, I something to find out about. It's definitely a private tree, but, all right. Anyway, I think we're I think we're good.
So
Yep.
I'll try and come back next month with more information on that Liberty Tree.
Yeah, good, yeah, and,
Good on the
and
agenda.
Charlie will find out more about the Nantucket Main Street project.
Yeah.
So. Good, all right,
Motion to
good
adjourn.
meeting.
Well, my apologies. for
Oh,
missing
we
the
have,
last meeting.
we have to have a, do we cancel yet? Cancel, we have to have a motion to,
Adjourn.
To adjourn, yeah, so moved.
Second.
all in favor? See you next time.
Jason,
Bye,
you-
guys. Thanks.
I'm interested in it, because I'm